Good afternoon again. I'm a dancer, performer, teacher, and choreographer. That's not what I'm going to talk to you today about. I would like to share with you my experiences using the traditional form of dance and theatre that I practice, principally Bharatanatyam, but how I use that in social work, in the field of education, empowerment, conflict resolution, and sometimes even economic development. Indian dance forms, indeed dance forms from across the world, have evolved very highly sophisticated systems of communication. And in India, this pinnacle of communication is called rasa. Rasa is the energy link, the empathetic link between the dancer and herself, with a spectator, or with the environment around her. And one of the fundamental cornerstones of my practice, my social practice, is a formula that I use, which comes from the Nandikeshwara Abhinay Darpanam from the 12th century, which says, Yato hastas tatho drishti, yato drishti tatho manaha, yato manaha tatho bhavo, yato bhavo tatho rasaha. Where the hand goes, let the eye follow. And where the eye goes, let the mind follow. Where the mind goes, let the emotion follow. And only then will you have transcendence. So you have 5 levels of interaction here. Physical, random movement, which, when observed by the senses, becomes an observed, noted movement. And then when the mind follows, it becomes an analyzed, intellectual movement. And when your heart is put into it, it becomes an involved movement. You implicate yourself in that movement. And only then will one achieve true understanding. But what does education today do? Brain, 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 brain. Intellect, intellect, intellect. Makes us into sheep. That's what we do. We memorize, we throw up. We memorize, we throw up. Where is emotional education, sensorial education, physical education to a certain extent, yes. But where are all the other levels of understanding that are bypassed in this dream of ultimate logic and rational explanation? That's where I think the arts should step in, because that is our domain. But all this is a lot of talking, ideological talking. How does it translate into practice? So I'd like to show, demonstrate with you a few practices that I do in different situations. For example, physical is very easy. I get the communities I work with to dance, to jump, to roll on the floor, to stamp their feet. I use rhythms, I use all kinds of things to make them sweat it out, and you create a strong group, even with people who've been in conflict with each other. We do trust exercises. I give weight, you have to pick me up, I have to pick you up. In this way, bodies are talking, there is no verbal communication. It's communication between people, and you're working as a group. Depending on the way the group is made, for example, if the group has been through a great trauma, it could be sexual abuse, it could be victims of a tsunami, it could be people through religious conflict, then I use movements that move out. Let's say from African traditions or Indian folk traditions, where you have a lot of spinning and complete opening of the body. Or if I'm working with street children who have so much energy but no control, we can use breathing techniques. We can use like slow techniques from Indonesian movement, where they have to push in, or even like slow motion running in films, where you have to focus and you have to run. So you're getting these boys or these girls to focus their movement, and in other ways, you're getting them to explode their energy out. So the physical side is all about working the energy that is you right now. But there are other more subtle techniques that one can use, because dancing is not just the body moving. And every workshop that I do, I understand and use techniques better. For example, about 10 to 15 years ago, I did a workshop with a group of sex workers here in Chennai. And to my amazement, in a break time, after we danced for a while, I asked them, suddenly it occurred to me, and asked them, you're dressed in a sari, I'm dressed in a sari. How does someone know you're available and I'm not? I mean, what is the technique you use? Because in Chennai, we don't wear miniskirts to advertise. I mean, there's no red district per se. There's no road. There is no particular way of dressing. So how do you advertise? Was my curiosity speaking. And she said, Nala ponna kannla pakmata. A good woman will not look in the eyes of a man. Just a simple act of focus. And these are women that depend completely on this profession for their livelihood. If she didn't know how to focus, she would not eat that evening. So, as a Bharatanatyam dancer, we work on focus all the time. We come on stage and the first thing we do is take a focus. And I started developing exercises around the focus. First of all, the physical creation of a focus with musculature. Open your eyes, make them small. Open your eyes, make them small. Look up, down, side, side, side. We train all the time. This is musculature. How do we use our eyes? But is that seeing? No. Seeing is when you interpret something, when you communicate or when you see something and you perceive it in your brain. So then I invent exercises like my favorite one is the mosquito one. And why would you do that? Apart from wanting to look very silly, you would do it because I want the group that I'm working with to open their eyes, to make eye contact. That is the first step towards empowerment. You will find people with low self-confidence or who've been through trauma talking to you like this. You will not make eye contact. Their bodies will be inward. So the first thing we need to build is the opening and the focus. And Bharatanatyam has beautiful, beautiful exercises through our technique of Abhinaya. Abhinaya is the expressional part of Bharatanatyam for those who don't know. So, Abhinaya. For example, Krishnani Begane Baro. It's a very famous piece. Baro means come. We're just going to use the word come here. Okay? Come. Come. With your eyes, you delineate who you're calling. Is it a child? Is it God? Is it Krishna as a lover? It's you that fixes it. And Bharatanatyam is a solo form. We don't have props. We don't have people. One person with her eyes communicates, just come. And the audience understands. Who are you asking? What is the context? So why can't we use this technique when we work with groups that need to communicate, that need to go deep into the understanding of themselves? One of the exercises that I do very often is ask a group, okay, give me a word that's very important to you. In one instance, the word was tuyaram, suffering. Tu, ya, ram. Tu, ya, ram, ta, jam. We made an entire jati with the word tuyaram. We added gestures to it. All of us, when we suffer, when we are stressed out, we get headaches, we get backaches, we get stomach aches. It happens to everybody. You don't have to go through a major trauma for that. Exams are enough. So, but we know it's psychosomatic, right? We can't divorce the body and the mind. So where does that tuyaram manifest? Is it here? Is it here? Where is it coming out? So you add gestures to it. You make a soundscape. What sound do you make when you are grieved? You make a soundscape from it. That's how you explore that word tuyaram to the point that all that negativity, that sadness inside comes out. you share it with a group, and then maybe you can get past it and find other solutions. These are some techniques that I use, and there are so many more that it's really not possible to talk about it all. What I would like to do is talk about how art is about bubble time. When you enter and you start practicing an art form, it's bubble time. You have a safe space to become somebody else. For example, I do a lot of the Vanarasena, the monkey brigade. When you're a monkey, it's a very liberating experience. You can scratch yourself. You can do things like, you can be like, ooh, ooh. You can do anything you like. You can look silly. It doesn't matter because you're a monkey. It doesn't matter. I've had entire communities in conflict in Indonesia, children, adults from different Muslim and Christian communities, delicing each other. And believe me, things are not the same after that. I've had college professors delicing each other. So you have to create opportunities for people to live outside their experience, to step outside their bodies and look at things from a larger perspective, which is what art is about. It's about empathy. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes for 2 seconds, or maybe looking at yourself from outside. There was this little child in Mexico that I would like to just tell her story and then stop. She told me all about her friend who had been sold by her parents and who was forced to become a prostitute, and all that she suffered, this poor friend of hers, and that she was ripped up and there were all these cigarette burns on her. She made this entire story. She drew it with me. We all of us acted it out, and we finished. And at the end of the session, she just gave me a little paper and walked out. And the paper said, "Yo también," me too. She could recite her story through transposing it on somebody else. She couldn't say that I had gone through it. That is the power of art and power of healing and the power of being together. My hand can go so far. That's it. My eyes can go much further. My brain, my intellect can bounce off the expanding universe in any direction. And I can go into an emotional landscape that nobody else can see. So why do we put limits on ourselves? We are limitless. And that's the first step forward to understanding. I thank you for your patience. And like I said, our traditions are immense. Don't denigrate it. Learn an art form. Learn something that connects you, not to perform. Performance is the tip of the iceberg. Just practicing an art gets you somewhere. We have lots of programs for all kinds of people, for all kinds of communities. It's not only people who are traumatized that need art. I need art every day. I'm not traumatized. Well, not more than normal people are. But reach out, make an eye contact, you make a difference. Be the change that you want to see. Thank you.